Hello! In this module, we'll learn about the Group Similar feature. We will learn when and why to use this feature, how to apply it, and look at the different options for using it. Let's get started. Because data is collected from a variety of sources, a dimension that is represented differently in each source needs to be aggregated so that it is consistent across all sources. For example, an attribute may be spelled one way in one source and have a different spelling in another source. In some cases, attributes may not have been spelled correctly when they were added. What can we do? Do we deal with it manually by changing the SQL case statements, for example, case name? When United States, then USA. This will take a lot of time and effort. Rather than doing this manually, the Group Similar feature automates the cleanup process by suggesting to group textual values based on levels of similarity. This feature analyzes and groups the data from the ElastiCube in the columns. This means that it looks at each column and identifies similar strings and groups them together into a single attribute. All the group's attributes are then added to the data model as a custom table that can be used in our dashboard. Let's see how to use it. Click the Data tab and select the relevant ElastiCube data model. A list of columns is displayed. For each column with a string data type, SciSense analyzes that column and groups it by similar attributes. The model must be built before the data can be grouped. If we have not run a build the model. In Table View, click the table that contains the column whose data should be grouped, for example, brand, and choose the column table we want to clean, for example, brand. To open the feature, click the option icon and select Group Similar. The first time SciSense analyzes the column, we can choose how to analyze it and how inclusive the results should be. There are three types of methods or algorithms. The first and default method is similarity, SoftTF-IDF. It looks for any similarity of the different values based on their rank. For example, SIP War Worldwide Group and SIP War Worldwide. Terms that appear too often, such as company and Inc., are scored lower as they are less unique. The second method is spelling. It looks for any similarity in spelling. For example, Kenya and Kenya. And the third method is phonetic similarity. It looks for string terms that sound familiar. For example, strings that use F or PH. Now, a golden tip just for you. Test each method and find the results that work best for you. It helps clean the data as much as possible. Next, we select how inclusive we want the results to be. There are three levels of inclusiveness: less inclusive, more inclusive, and most inclusive. The default is less inclusive, which means it's more precise. The system is pickier and tends to find less similarities, but the ones it does find are more likely to be correct. The more inclusive the results, the less precision there is. When choosing most inclusive, it tries to include as much similarities as possible, meaning it offers group values with a low level of similarity. After analyzing the data according to our settings, SciSense creates a set of groups of similar attributes. The Group Similar feature is divided into three sections. Grouped members. This is a list of members that have been grouped together according to the algorithm, inclusiveness level. Group name, or how they should be named. We can think of this as a case statement. The members on the left are the conditions, such as John Smith, and the group name on the right is the result, J. Smith. The group name determines how all members are named. Settings. We can change the method and level of inclusiveness and analyze again. Note that these are only suggestions. As we know our data the best, we can identify and choose whether to group members or not. Before creating custom columns, we can modify the recommended groups manually. The Group Similar window contains a variety of options for modifying groups. We can enter the number of a group or its members to filter the list of members displayed. Click to sort the list of groups by size or alphabetically. select which members are to be grouped when adding to our custom columns. By default, all groups are selected. Click the group name to rename it, replace it with another group, or merge the group with another group. When merging with another group, the members of the first group are added to the group we select. When the column is created, all members receive the group name of the group they are merged to. Click a member to move it to another group or create a new group from that member. When finished, click Accept Selected. A notification announcing a new custom column and its name pops up. Click Close. And there it is, the new custom column. Let's have a look at the SQL. We can see the SQL case statements created. Note that if we edit the table by clicking Edit and Preview, any changes that we make are overwritten the next time we group our data. After creating custom columns, we can edit the groups. Any changes we make to the groups affects the data displayed in the dashboards after the next build. From the ElastiCube model, we can edit the groups by selecting the relevant table and click Group Similar, Edit. The Group Similar window is displayed with a list of the groups. We can now modify the groups as necessary. So, we have finished grouping members of the brand column. We can now go to Other Tables and Columns. And when we have finished with this ElastiCube, we need to move on to others. So, it takes time and is a bit of work, but it is important to do it. So, when is the best time to use the Group Similar feature? When building the data for the first time, there is no point in doing it after. Once dashboards are created, the use of Group Similar doesn't replace or update existing dashboards. If we don't want to group the data manually, we must do it before. That's all for now. We have finished our acquaintance with the Group Similar feature. We learned what it is, when to use it, how to apply it, and how to define various options. What's next? There is a small exercise ahead that will help you consolidate what you have learned. Thank you for watching this module.